There are ordinary first-round matches that simply help move a tournament forward, music, and then there are matches that capture the attention of the entire tennis world long before the first ball is struck. Music. Alex Eala's showdown against Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen at the Citi Open in Washington belongs firmly in music, that second category. This isn't just another name on the schedule or another opportunity to advance to the next round. Music. It's a meeting between two remarkable athletes whose careers are heading in very different directions, yet whose ambitions remain equally enormous. Music. As they step onto the court, fans won't only be watching for the final score. They'll be witnessing a fascinating clash between a rapidly rising star eager to prove she belongs among the game's elite and music, an established champion determined to remind everyone why she has already earned her place at the top of women's tennis. Music. Over the past several months, Alex Eala has become one of the most exciting stories in professional tennis. What once looked like the steady development of a young prospect has evolved into a remarkable rise that has captured the imagination of fans around music, the world. With every tournament, she has continued to exceed expectations, producing memorable performances, collecting impressive victories, and generating headlines that have placed her among music, the sport's fastest rising names. Confidence continues to grow with every match she plays, and many now believe her breakthrough is no longer a matter of if, but when. Music, her fearless style, relentless determination, and ability to compete under pressure have transformed her into one of the most talked-about players on the WTA Tour. Now, however, comes one of the toughest examinations of her young career. Waiting on the opposite side of the net is Zheng Qinwen, an Olympic gold medalist whose powerful baseline game, explosive shot-making, elite athleticism, and experience competing against the very best players in the world make her one of the most dangerous opponents on tour. Zheng has already proven she can perform on the biggest stages, and she possesses the kind of confidence that comes from winning the sport's, music, most prestigious battles. For Alex, this isn't simply another match. It's an opportunity to measure herself against one of the game's established stars and show that her recent success is no accident. These are the moments that define careers, the occasions that reveal whether a rising talent is truly ready to compete with the world's elite, and the kind of matches that fans remember long after the tournament has ended. Moments like these have the power to reshape careers and redefine how a player is viewed across the tennis world almost overnight, which is exactly why this blockbuster matchup has generated so much excitement. For Alex Eala, this contest represents far more than simply advancing to the next round. It is an opportunity to test herself against one of the sport's most accomplished competitors, music, and prove that she belongs on the same stage as the game's biggest stars. Every rally will demand composure, every service game will challenge her resilience, and music, every pressure-filled point will offer another glimpse into how close she is to becoming a consistent force among music, the WTA's elite. These are the matches that reveal a player's true character. Music, where talent alone is no longer enough and mental strength becomes just as important as shot-making. What makes this encounter even more compelling is the contrast between the paths both players have taken to reach this moment. Although they share the same court, they arrive in Washington carrying completely different expectations and responsibilities. Zheng Qinwen enters the music tournament as an Olympic champion and one of the most respected names in women's tennis. Music. With that reputation comes enormous pressure. Every opponent sees her as the player to beat, every match attracts intense attention, and anything less than a strong performance is often viewed as a disappointment. Life at the top of the sport offers very little margin for error, and established music stars are expected to deliver results every time they compete. Alex Eala, on the other hand, finds herself riding an incredible wave of momentum that continues to grow with every tournament. Each victory fuels even greater belief in her potential, while every standout performance strengthens the excitement surrounding her remarkable rise. Across the Philippines, millions of supporters are following every step of her journey with immense pride. Music celebrating each milestone as another historic achievement for Philippine tennis. That overwhelming support has become one of her greatest sources of motivation, giving her confidence to compete fearlessly against the world's best. At the same time, it also brings a new level of expectation. As her profile continues to rise, so does the pressure to keep delivering memorable performances, making every match not only a personal challenge, but also another chapter in a story that an entire nation is eagerly watching unfold. Pressure like this is something very few young players ever experience. And handling it can be just as difficult as facing the opponent across the net. That is why the biggest question surrounding this matchup isn't simply whether Alex Eala has the talent to compete with Qinwen Zheng. Most observers already believe she possesses the skills to challenge anyone on her day. The real test is whether she can embrace the magnitude of the occasion without allowing the moment itself to become a distraction. Tennis history is filled with gifted players who earned opportunities against established champions, but only a select few manage to seize those moments and transform them into defining milestones. Those who succeed often discover that one unforgettable performance can accelerate a career, while those who fall short leave with valuable lessons that shape their future. That is precisely why this contest has become one of the most eagerly anticipated matches of the Citi Open. The significance of this showdown extends far beyond a place in the next round. It represents a measuring stick for both competitors. For Alex, it is another chance to prove that her rapid rise is built on genuine world-class potential rather than temporary momentum. For Zheng, it is an opportunity to demonstrate why experience, consistency, and success at the highest level remain the ultimate standards in professional tennis. Veteran champions understand how difficult it is to stay at the top, and they rarely surrender that position without a fierce fight. Rising stars, meanwhile, know that every victory over an established player brings them one step closer to joining the sport's elite. That contrast alone makes this matchup compelling, with both women carrying different motivations but equally powerful reasons to leave everything on the court. Adding even more intrigue is the fascinating clash of playing styles. Alex Eala has built her success through intelligent shot selection, awareness, and a calm approach during pressure moments. She is willing to construct points patiently before striking at the right opportunity, trusting her movement and tactical discipline to create openings. Qinwen, by contrast, thrives on explosive power, aggressive ball striking, and the ability to finish rallies with breathtaking winners from almost anywhere on the court. Her pace, can overwhelm opponents in an instant, forcing them onto the defensive before they have time to settle into a rhythm. When two players with such contrasting strengths meet, on a hard court, momentum can change in the blink of an eye. One perfectly timed return, one costly unforced error, one fearless winner down the line, or one unforgettable rally could completely alter the direction of the match. Yet, even before the opening serve is delivered, the story surrounding this encounter has already begun to unfold. Beneath the anticipation lies a collection of compelling narratives that make this more than just another tournament fixture. Every practice session, every tactical adjustment, and every prediction has built toward a contest that many believe could become one of the defining matches of the Citi Open. For Alex Eala, opportunities like this are about much more than collecting ranking points or extending a winning streak. They are chances to announce to the entire tennis world that she is ready to compete with the very best, to continue building a legacy that inspires millions of supporters, and to take another meaningful step toward establishing herself as one of the future stars of women's tennis. That is where the true story begins, and once the first ball is struck, everything that has been building toward this moment will finally be decided on the court. Every rising star eventually reaches a defining crossroads in their career, a moment when potential alone is no longer enough, and a far more important question demands an answer. Can you consistently compete with and defeat the very best players in the world? For Alex Eala, the Citi Open presents the ideal stage to begin answering that question. As one of the key tournaments during the North American hard court swing, Washington is far more than another stop on the calendar between Grand Slam events. It is a critical proving ground where players sharpen their games, build confidence, and establish momentum ahead of the U.S. Open. Strong performances here often carry into the final major of the season, making every match significantly more meaningful than the ranking points alone might suggest. That reality adds another layer of importance to Alex's meeting with Zheng Qinwen, transforming it from an exciting first-round clash into one of the tournament's most compelling storylines. From the moment both players step onto the court for the warm-up, there will be no misunderstanding, music about what is at stake. Zheng Qinwen has earned her reputation by imposing herself from the very music first game. Her powerful first serve ranks among the most dangerous weapons on the WTA Tour, allowing music her to seize control of points almost immediately and forcing opponents onto the defensive before rallies have a chance to develop. When she consistently lands her first serve, she becomes incredibly difficult to break, using that early advantage to dictate music the pace of the match with aggressive ground strokes and relentless pressure. Against a player with that level of firepower, allowing music points to remain short usually plays directly into the hands of the higher-ranked competitor. Alex Eala understands that challenge better than anyone, and her game plan will need to reflect it from the opening point. Neutralizing Zheng's serve, extending rallies, and refusing to panic under pressure will likely become the foundation of her strategy. Rather than searching for spectacular winners at the first opportunity, she must force longer exchanges that test movement, consistency, and decision-making. Patience has become one of the defining qualities behind Alex's remarkable rise over the past year. Instead of relying purely on aggression, she has developed a mature understanding of how to construct points with intelligence and discipline. She knows when to absorb pace, when to redirect the ball into open space, and when to change direction at precisely the right moment. That tactical maturity has allowed her to frustrate opponents, turning difficult defensive situations into attacking opportunities with impressive composure. If Alex can successfully execute that approach against one of the sport's biggest hitters, she will give herself a genuine opportunity to compete deep into the match. Every extended rally increases the chances of disrupting Zheng's rhythm and forcing her to hit one extra shot under pressure. Those small tactical victories often become the difference between winning and losing at the highest level of professional tennis. This is exactly why the contest promises to be so fascinating, not simply because of the names involved, but because it showcases two completely different philosophies of the game. One player seeks to overwhelm opponents with explosive power and relentless aggression, while the other relies on intelligent point construction, patience, and exceptional court awareness. When those contrasting styles collide on a hard court, every game becomes a strategic battle, and every music point has the potential to shift the momentum of the entire match. One of Alex Eala's greatest music strengths is her ability to completely change the direction of a rally within a single exchange. Whether it is a perfectly timed change of direction, a well-disguised angle, or a patient defensive shot that suddenly turns into an attacking opportunity, she has repeatedly shown an impressive understanding of how to shift momentum during points. Those qualities have drawn praise from analysts throughout her remarkable rise, but this matchup presents perhaps the toughest examination of those skills so far. Facing Zheng Qinwen is unlike facing almost anyone else on the WTA Tour because her power is only part of what makes music her so dangerous. She doesn't simply strike the ball with incredible pace. She applies relentless pressure from the very first shot. Every crushing forehand forces opponents into uncomfortable positions. Every deep return pushes them farther behind the baseline, and the slightest hesitation is often all she needs to seize complete control of a rally. Once Zheng senses an opening, she attacks with confidence and rarely gives her opponents an opportunity to recover. Yet, that is only part of the equation. As dominant as aggressive players can be, they are not without weaknesses. The biggest hitters often become less comfortable when opponents refuse to hand them easy points. Long, physically demanding rallies require patience, precise shot selection, and the ability to make smart decisions under constant pressure. Eventually, every attacking player reaches a moment when they must choose between continuing to build the point or attempting a risky winner. Those split-second decisions can determine the outcome of an entire match, and that is exactly the kind of battle Alex Eala hopes to create. Rather than trying to overpower Zheng from the baseline, she is expected to rely on her speed, consistency, intelligent court positioning, and tactical discipline. If she can repeatedly force Zheng to hit one extra shot, then another, The rhythm of the match could gradually begin to shift in her favor. The longer the rallies become, the greater the opportunity for Alex to frustrate her opponent and create openings that might not exist during shorter exchanges. But of music course, tennis at the highest level is never decided by tactics alone. The mental battle is often just as important as anything that happens with the racket. Every point brings pressure. Every momentum swing tests confidence, and every difficult moment demands emotional control. Forging Qinwen. Those expectations have become part of everyday life. As an Olympic champion and one of the sport's established stars, she enters every tournament with the weight of expectation on her shoulders. Every opponent views a victory over her as a potential career milestone, meaning she is constantly, forced to handle challengers playing some of their best tennis. Maintaining that level of focus, week after week requires exceptional mental strength, and it is one of the reasons she has remained among the world's elite. Alex Eala approaches this contest from a very different perspective. She arrives in Washington fueled by the confidence gained through months of outstanding performances and career-changing victories. With every tournament, she has become more comfortable competing against higher-ranked opponents, proving that she belongs on the biggest stages in women's tennis. At the same time, she is still growing into the role of a rising star, learning how to balance increasing expectations with the freedom that has fueled her breakthrough. That combination of confidence, ambition, and hunger makes her an especially dangerous opponent. She has far less to lose than many established stars, yet ground strokes, and relentless pressure against a player with that level of firepower, allowing points to remain short usually plays directly into the hands of the higher-ranked competitor. Alex Eala understands that challenge better than anyone, and her game plan will need to reflect it from the opening point. Neutralizing Zheng's serve, extending rallies, and refusing to panic under pressure will likely become the foundation of her strategy. Rather than searching for spectacular winners at the first opportunity, she must force longer exchanges that test movement, consistency, and decision-making. Patience has become one of the defining qualities behind Alex's remarkable rise over the past year. Instead of relying purely on aggression, she has developed a mature understanding of how to construct points with intelligence and discipline. She knows when to absorb pace, when to redirect the ball into open space, and when to change direction at precisely the right moment. That tactical maturity has allowed her to frustrate opponents, turning difficult defensive situations into attacking opportunities with impressive composure. If Alex can successfully execute that approach against one of the sport's biggest hitters, she will give herself a genuine opportunity to compete deep into the match. Every extended rally increases the chances of disrupting Zheng's rhythm and forcing her to hit one extra shot under pressure. Those small tactical victories often become the difference between winning and losing at the highest level of professional tennis. This is exactly why the contest promises to be so fascinating, not simply because of the names involved, but because it showcases two completely different philosophies of the game. One player seeks to overwhelm opponents with explosive power and relentless aggression, while the other relies on intelligent point construction, patience, and exceptional court awareness. When those contrasting styles collide on a hard court,